YouTube, what's up? Back again for another daily fishing video here on Andrew Upshaw Fishing. To all you dads out there, I hope you all had the most fantastic Father's Day. And thank you for everyone that wished me a happy Father's Day. I wish I could have gotten back to all of you. But honestly, guys, I put my phone down yesterday. I spent some time with Kane and Valerie. We ate a lot of really good food and we lounged around as a family. It was really nice. It was a really peaceful Sunday. But today's video is a topic that I've wanted to talk about for quite some time, but I really wasn't sure how to approach it. But I think I got it kind of dialed in now, and it is my oh crap tackle box for when things absolutely aren't going right. But now this isn't some just big generic tackle box of just a ton of things that you need to buy, but it's more so based off of the seasons that we're dealing with. So what I'm going to do over the course of this next year is I'm going to break down a shallow and deep box for summer, fall, winter, spring. I might even break it down to like pre-spawn, spawn, post-spawn, and really kind of break it down in that current situation. But today's is going to be shallow water, summertime fishing. My oh crap, like I'm not catching them. What do I do? And that's how we're going to approach it today. But guys, real quick, if you have not subscribed to this channel, you need to do so. Hit that sub button in the bottom right hand corner and comment below, what is your number one bait when everything's going wrong? How do you catch those bass? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you here in just a second. All right, guys, we've all been there. We've all had those fishing tournaments, those days out there on the water where everything is just going bad, where we can't catch a bass, running out of time, and we need to make something happen. I know I've been there 9 times out of 10. Like, it's one of those days where it's hot and sunny and just dead calm, and you just can't seem to figure anything out. But today I'm going to talk to you about my oh crap tackle box for summertime shallow water fishing. Now, I'm going to have a deep water one. I'm going to really break down a few things that you can do whenever it gets really, really tough and you can't seem to catch those fish, especially late in a tournament day where you have maybe an hour left. I'm going to explain the process of what I do to really help boost those fish catches. Maybe I only need 1 fish. Maybe I need 5 fish. Hopefully not, but maybe I do. I mean, if you watched my pick week video, you saw what I needed that day, and I came back with a vengeance. But now that was a different deal. Today we're talking about summertime shallow water oh crap fishing. So probably the number one bait I pick up in the summertime when it gets really tough and I can't seem to get a bite is I actually pick up a prop bait. This one I think is a Lucky Craft. I have a bunch of different prop baits I throw. Throw Brian's Bees, just to name a few. The Helix prop. But the thing about a prop bait is what I can do in shallow water is I'm going to go visibly look for brim beds. So if it's around a full moon, a lot of times you can pull up in these little short pockets, these main lake pockets, main lake banks, anywhere there's like a sandy bank that you might know of. And a lot of times there's bluegill around. And if there's bluegill around, there's a lot of times there's going to be bass, especially if there's shade or something like that. So if you have bluegill beds and you know where a section of bluegill beds are, a lot of times you can pick up this prop bait, go to those bluegill beds, and fill the boat up. And I'm not saying like you're going to go catch 100 fish or anything, but say you know where like 10 bluegill beds are, or like 10 different sections of them. A lot of times, especially late in the day where it gets really, really hot, this might be the only thing you're going to catch them on up shallow. And that's when you really got to just roll up there, make a few casts around this bluegill bed, and run to the next one. And so one thing about the summertime, my oh crap tackle box, is you're not going to hear me talk about really slow baits 9 times out of 10. Most of the time it's going to be covering water and trying to make as many casts as I can. This prop bait's going to allow me to do this, and it's going to be high percentage cast because I'm going to be really just targeting 1 or 2 casts around these bluegill beds, and that's typically where I'm going to get those bites. So it's a really quick way of putting an extra fish in the boat. And sometimes we forget about that. You know, we get so caught up on this deep water stuff and these ledges and things like that, that prop bait can come in there and save you a lot of times. Now, granted, it gets better as it gets hotter, so it's really starting to kick up right now, and you're going to see it just get better and better through August, September, and that's when I typically catch them really, really good. But right now, you can still catch quite a few on it if you just put your head down and go find some. So prop bait, definitely. Another one that, this is kind of one of those for like rock lakes, like a Grand Lake, places that you don't have a lot of grass. and that's a KVD 1.0. It's a square bill, but it's a small, compact square bill. What I can do with this thing is I can find these little differences in the bank, whether it's like a flat bank that switches to a steep bank, these transition type banks, and I can take this 1.0, and if there's a fish there, I don't care if it's a crappie, a bass, a perch, he's probably going to eat the 1.0. It's a fantastic fish catcher. Now, granted, are you going to go catch a 25-pound on a 1.0? Maybe not, but you might. I've caught some really big bags on this thing, and it gets better and better the hotter it gets. That 1.0, especially when they start feeding on that really small bait, or if you get really pressured fish that maybe just live shallow all the time, that 1.0 has a tendency to really trigger those fish. But like I said, this is more of a stump or rock thing. This isn't what I fish around the grass. This is a shallow water. I'm struggling. Actually, if I'm just struggling real bad, I'll just put a 1.0 and go and start cranking. I'll start cranking really high percentage areas, though. I talk about these transition spots. You can fish little small transition areas. You can fish bridges, or not bridges, but riprap around the bridges. That's a high percentage spot. Points are another high percentage spot. And I'll just go run as many high percentage areas as I can, throw in that little small crankbait. And a lot of times that will absolutely help me catch one fish or two fish if I really need them. Another one that can be, depending on the certain day, just absolutely killer is a Sexy Dog Junior. Now, this isn't the big one. This is the 2-hook version. The reason I go to the Junior is for those days that it's kind of nasty outside, or like maybe the fishing pressure's kind of gotten to them a bit, or maybe they're schooling some and the fishing's just gotten kind of tough in the middle of the day and it's dead hot. That Sexy Dog Junior definitely gets you more bites than the bigger brother of it, being the Sexy Dog or the Magnum. So I always keep a Sexy Dog Junior in my box. This is my Oh Crap tackle box for shallow water, and I couldn't leave without this thing in here. I mean, this thing catches them so good. But the Sexy Dog Junior always gets the call for me. Now, for you Florida guys or you grass guys that definitely know what I'm talking about, when it gets tough and you cannot catch a fish, I mean, it shouldn't come as any surprise, but my Oh Crap bait is a cutter worm. This time of year, they're going to be feeding up on bluegill, especially in grass lakes. So if that's the number one reason they're in the grass right now, is to eat bluegill. They're not there to eat shad. Mostly, they're not there to eat shad. Now, granted, you might find a super late shad spawn, which I think that's pretty much done right now. But the cutter worm, or that swimming worm, is extremely effective this time of year. People kind of overlook it. They look at it as a spring bait, maybe a spawn bait. But reeling that worm around right now, around the grass, is a killer way to catch fish. They love to stay in the grass year-round. They really do. I mean, if there's a good population of grass, there's always a good population of fish that stay in it year-round, no matter how cold it gets or how hot it gets. So on those early mornings or those late in the afternoons where the bite's really tough, cast that swimming worm out there, but let it go to the bottom. I can't emphasize that enough. Let it go to the bottom around that grass, and then just kind of slowly reel and drop. And that reel and drop is going to kind of give a waving action through the water. It's extremely natural, and it's going to get you a lot of bites. Now, are you going to go catch 100 fish? Once again, no. But it will get you that 1 or 2 extra bites that you need, especially on those tournament days where maybe a 2-pounder is going to get you first place or 10th place, So, but last but not least, don't have the bait in hand. But this is a bait that if you do have to slow down in shallow water, this is, in my opinion, the only bait that you need to catch bass, and that's a Strike King Ocho. So stickworm. So like a Cinco, Ocho, any other stickworm bait that you like. I prefer the Ocho. It's a little heavier. But I mean, I could go for days about talking about the Ocho. But I like an Ocho because I can rig it a bunch of different ways. It's considered probably more finesse when it comes to shallow water. And guys, they just eat that stickworm. I don't know why. I honestly have no idea why. If you look at it in the water, it absolutely does not look like anything. I've had guys sit there and tell me, oh, it's like a bluegill. Have you ever seen a bluegill that's 5 inches long? It's about that big around? No, nobody has. But for some reason, it's very enticing and intriguing to a bass, and they'll eat it. and especially in the summertime. So if you're getting that water willow, if you're getting grass around wood and you're just struggling to get a bite, you can pick up that thing. You know, one way that I really like to fish is obviously wacky rig. I love to fish at weightless wacky rig around docks this time of year, especially when that shade line gets right. You know, that shade is a big draw to bass this time of year. But let's say, for instance, I'm fishing around shallow grass and I need an extra bite and I'm struggling really, really bad. I'll Texas rig it. I'll just throw a traditional Texas rig. Or maybe I'll add a little flash and put one of those little blades in the tail end of it. You never know what you might do, but the thing about that stickworm is it's so versatile and it's going to get you bites. And that's what it is all about. When you get in that oh crap situation, and I've been there, guys, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a situation where I had 4 bass, I needed number 5, had an hour left, and my pattern was fizzling. It was hot, or maybe the conditions changed, and I wasn't getting those bites. And I had to look in that oh crap tackle box and say, okay, how can I get a bite? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about figuring out how to get that one extra bite that's going to help boost you from 4 to 5 fish or 3 to 5 fish or whatever it may be. Because every time you catch a fish, it's points. Every time you catch a fish, that's a dollar sign. The more fish you can catch, the better off you're going to be. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about my oh crap summertime shallow water tackle box. Man, I can't say that 5 times fast because I would really screw that up. Guys, if you have not yet, hit that sub button in the bottom right hand corner. I would greatly appreciate it. And comment below, what is your oh crap shallow water bait of choice? I mean, we all have that bait. We all have it. And believe me, there's probably about another 5 or 10 more I could add to this list that I've used over the years and helped me catch more bass. But these are the ones that I typically turn to first that always help me put fish in the boat. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.